Hello all and welcome. I am the MGTOW philosopher. Now, for those of you out there that may not know, Dear Abby is still going strong. Now, of course, everyone out there has heard of Dear Abby or an Abigail Van Buren, the original author of Dear Abby, which is now a copyrighted pen name. But what you may not know is that, of course, it's still going strong. It's still being written, but not by the original author, because she's dead, as far as I know. And now her daughter, who's an old hag, old hag bag, is essentially the one that's writing this thing. And, of course, as you can see by the picture, which I believe is a very old publicity shot, she is worn out. Look at that face. Looks like old leather. And so this old broad, who's essentially made her living off of mommy's fame and inheriting mommy's pen name and copyright rights to that name, essentially continues her mother's tradition of writing crappy advice to younger women. So we have this old broad who's essentially completely out of touch with reality. She's an old feminist. She's totally clueless when it comes to exactly what's going on in society in the modern day with the modern Western woman and between the modern Western woman and the modern Western man. She has no clue. She has no clue. This chick's probably still living in the 60s or 70s, whenever she grew up. Who knows? I mean, the mother started writing the articles, pen name Dear Abby in 1956. So we don't know how old this broad is, but looking at her, she didn't grow up in the 70s or the 60s, more likely the 50s, possibly the 40s. Hard to say. But she's an old hag. She don't know what the hell she's talking about. And if you read her articles, it's hilarious because it's just word after word of bad advice that she's giving women. But of course, I mean, she's a feminist. And this is no different. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I don't know how women listen to this lady. But they do. They write her week after week wanting her advice. Her and those perfect teeth that she paid a fortune for, paid for by these dopes that ask for her advice. So let's see what she has to say. Let's see what a modern day Dear Abby, not the old broad from 1956, but her daughter, who should be new and vibrant and hip. Let's see what she has to say. Shall we? And I believe this woman's name is Jean Phillips, even though the article is titled Abigail Van Buren. Yeah, nice way to steal mommy's thunder there, lady. Nice way to ride on dead mommy's coattails, huh? That's pathetic. Can't you find your own career? You make your living essentially riding the coattails of a dead woman. Jesus Christ. Talk about not finding your own path in life. And this woman is who you ladies seek advice from. Are you kidding me? All right, let's just get to it. Lady who's essentially a loser is going to be telling women how to make good decisions. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I guess it was a good decision. I'm gonna take mommy's inheritance, her name, and I'm going to use it to continue writing crap. I have no real qualifications to write this crap or to give this advice except for my name. But I should expect people to listen to me. Okay. So in this piece, somebody writes Abby saying, Dear Abby, my husband watches porn late at night. And of course, if you look at Abby, you can tell that she don't like porn. I mean, with that face and that fake blonde hair, which you know would be all white if she didn't dye it, you know that this broad doesn't like porn. Anything that would entice a man away from her, which wouldn't be difficult by, again, looking at that face, is going to really piss her off. So I can already guess what her advice is going to be. I know what my advice is. Let's see what hers is. Now, of course, first, we have the pathetic mouth breather who can't think for themselves, so writes some broad named Dear Abby, whose name is Jean. You're not even talking to Dear Abby. Dear Abby will be like 150 years old by now. This is her loser daughter who couldn't find an actual job. So instead, she decided, well, I'm going to steal mommy's name, and I'm going to write crappy advice and get paid for it because I have the copyright to Dear Abby. And a lot of dumb women writing in think I'm the original Dear Abby. Because they're morons. Dear Abby, can you tell me why men watch porn? Well, why are you asking Abby? Why don't you ask a man, you idiot? Why don't you ask your husband? Oh, I can't ask my husband. No. Why not? Because I can't talk to him. Why not? Because he's my husband. I can't talk to my husband. Oh, well, there's the problem, you dumb broad. My husband watches porn on the computer at all hours of the night. I'll tell you why he watches porn, honey. Because you ain't giving him what he needs, all right? You're not going down on him. You're not sucking his dick. You're not giving him what he needs. You got to give him what he needs. If you don't give him what he needs, he's going to get it somewhere else, okay? He's not getting what he needs from you, you dummy. That's why men like porn, because their broads don't reach over and grab their cock and stroke it. That's why. Don't give them hand jobs, blow jobs, or any other jobs for that matter that involve sex. And you wonder why he's going to porn. When I found out about it 6 months ago, Jesus, how long have you been married, honey? Have you been married for years and you just recently found out he watches porn? Well, why should that bother you? You weren't having sex with him anyway. What do you expect him to do? Just have blue balls forever? He promised he would stop doing it. Why does he have to stop doing it? What kind of women are you? He's not even banging some other broad. It's fantasy sex in his own mind. So now, of course, women have to control men's thoughts. It's all about thought control. I can't have you thinking about other women. I can't have you watching other women, looking at other women. How insecure are you that you can't handle your husband looking at some other broad? Oh, whatever. What do you think looking is, you dummy? What do you think looking is? It's thinking, you idiot. He's looking at other broads, and he's thinking about them. There's thought going on if you look at something. So you're trying to police his thoughts. You're a control freak, as all women are, of course. And she can't handle him looking at other broads and thinking about other broads, really thinking about other broads because she's insecure. Well, honey, there's something called a gym. Or there's something called running shoes. Don't even go to the gym. Big waste of money. Put on some running shoes and get your fat ass out there on the track, honey, and run a few laps. Oh, that's too difficult? And yet you're complaining that he's looking at other broads who actually do that. But you don't want to do that. Yeah, women are the laziest creatures on the planet. Don't expect them to do anything that'll solve the problem themselves. I want an easy solution. I'm going to contact what must be a 150-year-old lady by now. I try to get her to give me some good advice. Yeah, some sage advice from a bygone era when there was no feminism. And you wonder why your husband ain't interested in you. You dope. But I just realized he still goes online and watches it when I'm asleep at night and early in the morning. Yeah. So, of course, now we see the problem. This woman is afraid of sex. She's got a problem with sex. She shames him for watching porn. What kind of broad does this? How old are you, lady? Of course, now you see why I'm not married. Broads my age, they all got these weird-ass hang-ups about this shit. And, of course, she's insecure, which is also part of the problem. Oh, yeah, he goes online and watches it. He goes online when you're asleep because if he didn't, you would shame him. So he still goes online when I'm asleep and early in the morning. Our sex life has diminished to almost nothing. Honey, you blame that on the porn. That's not the porn. Your sex life diminished because of you. Because you weren't giving it to him, or he had to work too hard. This is a problem. If you get married to some broad, I expect sex to be easy. That's still the reason why most of you simp, cuck, mangina, pussy boys out there get married, because you're too lazy, or you're too pathetic, or you have no self-esteem yourself, and you have no game, or you think you have no game. And so you don't want the trouble of having to always go out there and get it anew. Whenever you're in the mood, whenever you're randy. Well, I'm sorry, but sex is no easier, okay? And it's a hell of a lot more expensive. Wives are not cheap. But women are these days, so it's really not that difficult to get laid, okay? You don't even have to have a lot of game, a little game. Women are sluts these days. How hard is it to get laid? It's not that difficult. You don't need to get married. If you get married, it's still going to be difficult. She's still going to make you jump through a bunch of hoops. You need to watch my video, Women Make Men Jump Through Hoops. They want you to jump through hoops. They're going to take that hoop. You know, like in the circus, they take that hoop and they light it on fire and they make the dogs and shit jump through it to get a treat. Well, that's you. Except for you, the hoops that you're going to have to jump through or rub her feet. Clean the house after you get home from work. Cook dinner for her. I mean, fuck that shit. Are you a moron? Why would you sign up for that? And then she still might not give it to you because, she doesn't have to anymore. Because the law says that even though she's married to you, she doesn't have to give you sex. You can't take it from her, or that's marital rape, which didn't even used to exist until, bingo, feminism. Our sex life has diminished almost nothing. I consider blocking the site on his computer. Is that a good idea? What is he, 12? What to block it? Women look down on all men. You have no freedom once you get married. They think you're a child. Their whole goal in life is to control you like you're a baby. And then women wonder why we lose interest in them. That and the big fat ass that they get and their short hair. And they talk too fucking much. Jeez Louise, you wonder why he's lost interest in you sexually. It wasn't the porn that did it. Of course, women, they can accept that. They look at the consequence as the cause. Oh no, it's not a symptom of our relationship being bad because I'm a nagging cunt that he's watching porn. Oh, no, that's the cause. Yeah, of course, it couldn't be you. Oh no, you couldn't be the problem, could you? Of course, she is the problem, and of course, Abigail Van Buren, a.k.a. Jean Phillips, is not going to tell her any such thing, which would be the truth, of course, since she makes her living off of pandering to dumb cunts like this broad. Please help me. How can I compete with this? Oh, my God, you're not competing with porn, you idiot. Well, I guess in a sense you are, really, because... but there would be no competition if you just lost a few pounds and you actually took some initiative and went down on him. I guarantee you, if you woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning and just started sucking his cock, when the cock crows, you would have no problem. He would not need porn. Go down on him in the morning. Go down on him when you go to bed. Problem solved. Oh, no, but that would require actual effort. Oh, no, Gene, can you give me a simple, easy solution that doesn't require my lazy ass to do anything? Well, Gene replies, dear feeling, men watch porn because they are turned on by the visual. No shit, Sherlock, which means his wife is no longer visually attractive because she let her ass get too big, and that's her fault, not his. You have a right to have sex like... Of course it's his fault, right? Like the problem is the guy. Clearly, he has no problem getting it up because he's watching and banging the porn, okay? You know, he's stroking the salami to the porn, so he has no problem getting it up. But he has a problem with her. Gene just answered this woman's question. Men watch porn because they're turned on by visual, which means he's not turned on by you. So lose some weight, you fat ass, but meddling with your husband's computer won't fix the problem. Well, that's true. But will she give the right advice that... The problem is that you've gotten too fat and unattractive and you don't take enough effort. You don't take enough initiative to initiate sex with your husband and satisfy his sexual needs. So that's why he's turning to porn. If you would actually make an effort both to make yourself look better and to initiate sex more and do more, he wouldn't watch porn so much. Is that the advice that Gene's going to give? I'm guessing not. Because your marital needs are not being met, frame your conversation with him that way. Oh, the problem is a communication one, of course. Jean will always give the simple, easy advice because she panders to low IQ moron women who essentially want some easy solution. Of course, women just love to talk, and then the husband, well, he's just going to find new ways to hide it from her, and she's going to think the problem is solved. Meanwhile, they're not going to be having sex, and she had no problem with them not having sex before. She only had a problem now, when she found out he was actually still having sex, but she wasn't. See, the problem isn't, this is very interesting, and this is something you need to understand about women. She had no problem with him not having sex. She had no problem with her not having sex. She only had a problem when she found out he's still getting off just without her. She's lost her power and control in the relationship. And that's where her problem is, because she no longer has the pussy power. Damn right. Oh, here we go. He may be addicted to online porn. You're so stupid, Jean Phillips. Not even going to call you Abigail Van Buren. Good Lord, that's not even your name. That's your mommy's name. Stop using your mommy's name to make a living. Find your own life. Oh, you're 70 years old now. Well, that's too late then. He may be addicted to online porn. Of course it's his fault. Of course it's not her fault. And he's addicted to porn. Yeah, he has some kind of problem. It's not the problem isn't that you're a fat slob. No. The problem is that he likes porn too much. Yeah, he likes looking at hot chicks, okay? And he still has a sex drive. And his wife is a slob. His wife looks like a tree sloth. And you wonder why he's watching porn. He's not addicted to porn. He likes sex. And he can't get it from his ugly wife. and unable to stop watching without a professional intervention. Yeah. Oh, the man is sick. It's the man's fault. It's always the man's fault. Gene, you are so predictable. So predictable. Yeah, blame him. He needs a shrink. He needs to get some therapy. P.S. Please stop comparing yourself with what your husband is viewing on screen. Yeah, because the women in porn, they're just so unrealistic, even though they're real women. And you could look like that if you actually made some effort. But you don't want to do that. So they're not real women. They're fake women, right? Even though they exist. Yeah, that's what you're really pissed off about. Not that your hubby is... No, I mean, what she's really pissed off about is two things. That's really it. She's lost power in the relationship and her husband getting off to a chick that looks better than her, which is practically every woman out there, probably. And it's about as authentic as Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, it's not real. Well, they're real women. They are real women. They are that. And his wife, if she even looked a little like any of those women, I guarantee you he would put the remote control down and he'd be banging her instead. But of course, that would be too hard for her. That would be way too hard. That's hilarious. So dear Abby, a.k.a. Gene Phillips, she saved yet another marriage with her pithy little advice. Yeah, just sit and talk to him. Oh, that's just so profound, Gene. Yeah, you're so brilliant, Gene. Sit down and talk to him. He might be addicted to porn. Of course, it's his fault. Don't put the Cheetos down. Don't put the corn dogs down. Don't put the remote control down. Don't go out on the track and run a few laps. Don't lose 30, 50, 100 pounds, wherever you have to lose. And by the way, we don't know anything about what this broad looks like, okay? But we can pretty much guess that she's a fat slob. She could be 200, 300 pounds, for God's sake. And Gene, knowing nothing, tells her, meh, his fault. Because, of course, that's her go-to answer for everything. And these dumb broads suck it up like the Cheetos that they are, of course, regularly eating, which is part of the problem to begin with. Broads like this Gene Phillips really annoy me. Really do. I mean, you're some old broad that's out of touch with reality, okay? Probably hasn't been laid since 1972. And she's going to tell us how to essentially... make relationships work in a time when feminism rules everything, including how we can talk, how we can think. This guy can't even watch porn because it takes the hand away from his wife. Ugh. But it's funny. This is some funny shit, I gotta tell you that. Very funny. So let me know what you think of Jean and her sage advice in the comments section. Does this broad that she's replying to represent all women, or is she just some kind of weird, rare outlier? I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.